Hi, I'm your L7 movie guy, PR Marks. This is the show for all your movie streaming recommendations and reviews. Let's get started. First up we have is Balls Up. This is a goofball comedy about two marketers that pitch a new condom idea to get a sponsorship for the World Cup. Then, after a drunken-fueled scandal, they must outrun chaos to survive.
I will survive?
So when I watched this film's trailer, I thought to myself, this could be good for an entertaining laugh or chuckle. Then, after watching this movie, I can honestly say it was a lot more surprising for its escaping, fleeing adventure story. And was more hilarious for its raunchy, sexual, immature drug humor than I was expecting.
Nice.
I liked how this movie starts off more as coworkers being rivals, and then it turns into an unlikely friendship, adventure, comedy, survival flick that really can be compared to a rated R version of that film Without a Paddle, or that other film starring Martin Short and Danny Glover called Pure Luck, where the environment as well as the unusual wacky side characters become the drive for laugh out loud moments and scenes. Also, too, I like the amount of funny ways they use this new condom that one of our main characters invented to get them out of certain situations, as well as fix problems. Like, for example, throughout the film, this new condom was used to be a flotation device, stopping germs, a tourniquet, as well as basically smuggling a large amount of drugs.
I love cocaine!
Lastly, for my likes and positives for this film would probably be going to all the comedic acting that was in this. Cause not only were Mark Wahlberg and Paul Walter Hauser awesomely good in this, but also too were the side characters. Especially Sacha Baron Cohen's character and Molly Shannon's character. Which was not only great to see them in this movie, but they just absolutely killed it with all their brand of humor, comedic timing, and dialogue.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Now, if I had to say anything really negative or disliked for this movie, there isn't really much, but just a couple things here and there. I would say one of them being the overall ending and how it was very typical, lucky, easygoing of an ending that we usually see in most comedies. And even also pays homage or maybe rips off or copycats or just, mirrors this idea of a friendship statue like the film Zoolander. In the film Zoolander, we get this friendship statue thing that was kind of hilarious at the end of the film. They do the exact same thing in this one, but it just seems kind of forced.
Nothing. Rip off!
Lastly, for my dislikes or negatives for this film would be the overall predictability of its pacing, which did work for a film like this in many ways. But I found this whole thing of having our main characters go from one bad situation to the next bad situation with breaks in between for dialogue and explanation very kind of lazy. But also too, whenever they were in the bad situations, it was just very easily, suddenly resolved that felt very obvious at times and not unique for its structure.
Who saw that coming? I did.
Overall, I really kind of dug this one and it kind of really had me laughing quite a bit. Sure, the humor in this is not for everybody and people might not like the very sexual, immature jokes as well as comedy that is in this film.
Oh, did you get it? Did you get it?
But with really funny, ridiculous situations and characters, as well as this one karaoke scene involving our two main characters that is just pure gold magic and had me on the floor crying, is why I'm going to give this one a yay. But for an audience thumb scale, it's going to be a 2.5 out of 5. Last up we have is The Housemaid. This is a 2025 erotic psychological thriller directed by Paul Fidge, starring Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried, and based on a Frida McFadden novel. And I just probably butchered her name, and I apologize to her for that because, fuck my dyslexia, right? This film follows Millie, a young woman with a troubled past that takes a live-in housemaid job for a wealthy Winchester family, only to uncover dark secrets and a twisted power dynamic with the seemingly perfect housewife, Nina.
She's perfection.
Now, I really did hear a lot of buzz about this movie as well as its book series through certain podcasts that I listen to on a daily basis, and they all pretty much said the same thing about it. Which the consensus was that this one was brutal, twisted, weird, and a decent thriller. So I basically just told myself I should probably give this one a watch and see if everything that these people were saying about this film was true. And after watching this one, I can definitely say that this one was a unique thriller dealing with themes of control and manipulation that eventually turns into that usual twist and turn plot that we've seen in films like Sleeping with the Enemy and The Invisible Man.
I'm not doing anything.
You're manipulating everyone.
Now, for my likes and positives for this film, I would say I liked how simplistic the production value was when telling its story. Cause not only did everything look nice and neat when it came to its production, but really did a good job with its pacing when building up the questions and mysteries within the story.
What the fuck is going on?
Also too as well, I like some of the acting in this somewhat. And what I mean is that Sydney Sweeney, for example, was decent in this, but nothing spectacular. She was just more like eye candy for anybody that likes to see her in that kind of light. But the major standouts in this when it comes to the acting actually were the married couple characters. That's because the actors that played this married couple did a very good job with their performances and really did a very wide range of everything from being charming to basically being batshit crazy.
I'm losing my fucking mind here.
Lastly, for my likes and positives, I would have to say it would go to the overall big reveals as well as the ending. Cause without giving too much away or any spoilers away, I will definitely say it fits the overall film's tone and it was kind of a big surprise. But in a very unique way that felt unsettling and shocking at times. That ultimately made for a pretty awesome, predictable, enjoyable ending.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sure, there are definitely some problems and dislikes that I have for this film. Which, since I was talking about the ending not too long ago, I will say the last 2 to 1 minute of this movie was pretty unnecessary. That's because they try to set up a sequel or at least hint to a possible sequel for this movie. And what I think is that this film is so well decently made and it definitely stands on its own merit that it doesn't really need to be setting up a sequel because there's only so much you can tell with a story like this or what they have told already, and it wouldn't really make sense to keep it going. The only way this would make sense to keep it going if this was a TV franchise part of the book series instead of a movie.
That makes sense.
Then for my second complaint or dislike for this film would have to go to the gardener groundskeeper character because he's overseeing a lot of stuff that's happening within the family home that would be very disturbing or would make anybody rush to the authorities to let them know what was going on. And I feel like the fact that he tries to help out in the movie but in the wrong way possible, or he doesn't get to help out in any way, shape, or form, really didn't make any sense to me, and it kind of boggled my mind.
I know, it's so frustrating.
Lastly, for my dislikes and negatives for this film would have to go to the overall choices of music or track selections that were put into the film. For the fact that sure, the musical choices as well as track selections that were put into this film are very popular songs and most people, but mostly females, are gonna like it. That unfortunately at times made certain scenes feel cheesy, annoying, and for the sexual stuff, very skinamaxy.
That's gross.
It sure is, Billy.
In the end, this was a decent watch and definitely had its shocking twist-like moments here and there. But also too had its predictable setups and payoffs that would make any stay-home mom happy.
Remember, happy wife equals happy life.
Now, even though I've never read the book series and couldn't tell you whether or not the film was accurate to the book, I will say though, however, that the screenplay writer as well as the director did a very decently good job at adjusting anything they had to make this film work and be effective. And that is why I'm going to give this one a soft yay. But for an audience thumb scale, it's going to be a 3 out of 5. Well, that's all the time we have. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. And if you liked any of the movies we discussed, please leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and may the movies be with you.